Today we're at West Valley Precision here in San Jose, California, and I'm in a shop that makes parts like this. Absolutely amazing parts right off the machine, not even concentrating on the finish, but that's the value of the machines that they've invested in. The company started in 1987, third generation, family owned and operated, and we're gonna step inside, so follow me. Well, we're gonna take a look at 25 Kitamura machines. It's practically the entire shop. And I just showed you a couple of incredible parts, but I want to show you these as well. So if we get a close look before we step inside and meet Courtney, look at all the holes and look at the finish. Now from one side of this part all the way to the other side of the part is 2 thousandths or less variation. That to me is incredible. If you look at all these holes and the precision that's required to make these holes, there are only a few machines, very limited machines on the planet that can even accomplish this on the first task. And even on first task is difficult to do because of how far apart and how many there are. Now if we slide this open, look at this beauty. We're actually going to step inside and see how this is being made, but it starts off at about 1,300 pounds. 1,300 pounds and gets machined all the way down to what you're seeing right now. The first question I asked when I saw this was, how are your chip bins keeping up? But they are making these precise parts, and Courtney is waiting for us on the floor. Now, this to me is one of those really great stories because this is almost a Kitamura showroom. 25 machines, some of the newest machines with pallet change to machines that were purchased in 1987, and now we get to walk through firsthand to show you what they're making, how they're making it, and get a little bit of the story of what's going on here as well. So I invite you in to this incredible, we won't call it a Kitamura museum, but we will call it a Kitamura showroom, and this is my girl Courtney. So good to see you.
Nice to see you. How are you doing?
I am excited to be here. I mean, walking in here, I first said a museum, but it's more than that. It is a showroom. It is a facility that continues to grow, third generation, starting in 87, even a small garage before that. I mean, the story to me is one of those that the world must hear more about. So along this journey, we will get to do that. But let's first start with parts. Everyone loves to talk about parts. So let's talk about the ones we have that we're looking at here.
Yeah, so these parts start off as an aluminum casting, and we hold on to it with these tabs. We have probing on the machine. So the machine comes in and we'll probe it to find its location. And then in one operation, we get a completed part. So in the end, we just have these little tabs right here. We break them off. So everything to itself is just about perfect.
Yep, pop the tabs off, deburr a little bit, and ready to go.
Yep.
Now, something to me that's a cool part of this story, Courtney, is it started, I won't say as a test to see if you could do it, but it's certainly grown since the original, hey, can you make these parts for us of 40, 60, 80, 100? We're at 200 parts a week right now, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yes. A lot of parts.
A lot of parts. And you cannot have that repeatability without having reliable machines. It just would not work.
We probably couldn't do it without a Kitamura machine. They're accurate, they're repeatable, so we just night and day, machine does all the work, all the probing, so.
Yeah, and I can't wait to dive into more of that story as we walk this way. By the way, this was really loud a few minutes ago. Did you have these guys take a break just for us? They're working so hard. Did you do that for us?
Maybe.
Maybe. So let's talk about this part here, Courtney. Now, the first thing that pops out of my head is just how many tiny diameter tapped holes are in there. And when I think about that, I've broken probably 1,000 taps in my lifetime as a machinist because of the difficulty. And you're able to do this day in and day out on these Kitamura machines.
Yeah, this is run on a big horizontal machine, a 630 millimeter. And we actually don't really have any problems at all with broken taps.
Well, that must be nice.
It is. It is very nice.
I wish that would have been a dream of mine. I ended up having to hand tap a lot of things because of those complications.
Nope, and those actually run on a pretty old machine, to be honest with you. One of our older horizontals.
We're going to talk about that story as well, probably over and over again today, because as you already know, and I've invited you, so please say yes, to Japan to see the Kitamura factory. I've seen how they make these things and the bases that go into it and the foundations that are in this floor. But before we get into that, which we'll expand on a little bit more, I already promised the audience when I was in your first area that I was going to show them this part and how it's being made. I mentioned 1,300 pounds to start, right?
Yeah, it starts off in a huge 1,300 pound block. And we kind of do the initial roughing on one machine, and then we bring it over to a big 800 millimeter horizontal.
I can't tell. It almost looks like it's smiling at me a little bit. It looks like it has teeth and eyes.
I think people have drawn faces on them.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, so anyway, we basically put it up and hold it on a big dovetail under there. You can't see it, but that's what's holding it in place. And the horizontal spindle just goes to work. And after that operation, it's almost done. We just have 2 little tabs here. We just lay it down for one final operation, and it's complete.
And what's the final weight?
We had an office bed, and I lost. But
no, you didn't.
I did. I had to buy someone lunch, but it's 105 pounds.
So from 1335 or something like that, right?
1335 to 105 pounds every day.
That's incredible. And just if I could get the camera to come right over here, just real quick. Courtney mentioned the dovetails. You can actually see the dovetails right here. And these are the dovetails that Courtney's talking about that's holding this big piece. And those dovetails are actually right here, which look like the teeth of the tombstone as well, and the smiling face is being shown also. I know I had to put that bad dad joke in there. You might be used to that by now, Courtney. I'm not sure. I do a lot of bad dad jokes. But that's how that monster is being held. All right, Courtney, let's talk a little bit about your history, and I'll invite you to go first.
Okay.
But a little bit about the history of the company. Now, you yourself went off, did a little deburring while you were in high school here, right? And then you ran away for a little bit. And we love our women in manufacturing. So you came back about 2010 and started to dive into the organism that is this company that your dad owns, yeah?
Yeah. So I never thought I would work at the shop. Never really crossed my mind. But to be honest, I was looking for a way to move back home. So I started working here, and I did the office, I did purchasing, started getting into production. So I've done just about, I put in our quality system. I've done a lot of different things. So I've done most of the jobs kind of required and helped build up the system. So now it's pretty easy to run it.
For what it's worth, you say pretty easy to run with a chuckle.
It is.
You put in a little bit of work, absolutely. But let me just say, for what it's worth, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of manufacturing. And thank you for keeping the legacy alive. I think it's important that we recognize our women in manufacturing. It's a very traditional industry, and every time that it happens, and we want more, and we desire more, and I yell at the folks out there all the time, please give us more. You know, we want everyone to feel accepted in manufacturing. There's a large skills gap. I think it's important to take a moment to just honor you. So thank you for being here. More parts, so we want to talk more parts? I mean, I'm looking at this Kitamura machine. It's still absolutely going to run to perfection, but it doesn't look like your newest one here, does it?
No, these are some of our older machines. We're actually taking them out next week. But even though this machine is probably maybe 15 years old, maybe more, we still get really nice finishes, and they're running lots and lots of parts right now. So Kitamura machines definitely stand the test of time and continue to produce really nice parts. That's why we buy them. We're all Kitamura.
You are. 25 of them here, I believe.
25,
and we could actually do the math and say, well, you've had a lot more than that, but you keep trading out older ones for newer ones along the way. And might I also say, you said test of time, much like ourselves, right? We stand the test of time as well. You are enjoying a couple of my bad dad jokes, I can tell.
Yes.
But that is why we invest in Kitamura, because it does stand the test of time. And I want to also mention for everyone watching and listening right now that although the accuracy, the finish here as we slide our fingers across, we're not going to cut ourselves, but the finish is not currently on these parts the goal. It just happens to be that way right off of the machine because that's how good the machine is. Yeah,
it's kind of a byproduct of having a good foundation and then a very accurate Kitamura machine on top of that. So it all starts, we dig these big holes, concrete, we do like 3 feet deep rebar, which provides the initial stable foundation, and then you probably know more about the machines than I do.
Oh, I doubt it. Not you own 25 or more of these things. I highly doubt it. I lean to your expertise.
Yeah, so no, from there, you know, the machines are accurate, they're checked, we have probing, we do all that Renishaw probing, so yeah, they just, part after part, are extremely accurate.
Well,
Repeatable.
I am all about that base.
Yep.
So when I say that, I mean machining, of course.
Yep.
And in machining, you mentioned the foundation that you have made, and Dr. Kitamura puts a lot of his heart and effort into the foundation of Kitamura as well. So the casting itself is typically twice the weight of the average machine out there. So he also wants that base to be incredibly important. And what does that base bring is that rigidity, that precision, the long life that keeps giving you this finish over and over and over again.
Absolutely. Yep, you can see them all over the place. We always joke that whoever ends up with this building in the end is not going to be able to take out the floor. It's going to be all these concrete pads everywhere.
If it's not a machine shop, what are they going to do with it?
I don't know.
I guess it'll have to be a
Not my problem.
But at this point, we're at third generation. You're going to be here forever. I imagine your kids will come into it as well.
We'll see.
We'll share this with them in just a little while. Let them know what their future looks like. All right, here's a part that I think is worth talking about as well, Courtney, because to me this is fascinating, because time is usually our most expensive thing in life. And time flies by as we get older. It goes by even quicker than we want it to. And when I see this part, and then if we grab this finished one here, we see how much material is being removed. But again, you guys are dovetailing. And about time, you guys are able to plow through this aluminum on these Kitamura machines in almost no time.
Yeah, we tend to think that material is cheap versus the amount of time it takes to remove it. So we will buy material, you know, thick enough so it has a rigid base and we can really hold on to it. And the machine, I mean, we could take out all that material in a very short amount of time.
So because you say that material can be cheap, which is true. We're working on a lot of aluminum. When we get into those super alloys, the titaniums and Inconels, they can get real expensive real quick.
Yes.
So as we continue to head over to this section, which is going to be very new very soon, I think next week I heard.
Next week.
Very new very soon. Let's talk about what you make here and what areas you might want to expand into for everyone who sees the quality of work you're doing here and might be interested in going, I want to work with West Valley, I want to work with Courtney, I want to work with a third generation family owned American made company.
Yeah, I mean, so right now we are kind of starting off in this world of these, it's called a Kitamura Med Center. So these machines, we just got this one maybe a couple days ago, so it doesn't have the full pallet system on the side, but this is going to be a 24 pallet machine. It has a smaller work envelope, but it has 30,000 RPMs. So you do a lot of little tiny cuts super fast and are able to remove a lot of material. So these machines are like production lights out machines for parts that you know, will run night and day assemblies, you know, parts with multiple machine parts in the assembly. We can do everyday pull off the same quantity of parts, things like that.
Talking with your father, a lot of the machines that you've traditionally been known for, you're making big parts, and these cycle times might be days. You know, they could even be longer, but a lot of these parts are big, heavy duty. So this world is going to be new and fun.
Yeah.
But you do work in aerospace, you do work in medical, you do work in these parts of the industry, and you're one of those companies that says, you got a job for us? Bring it our way. I'm pretty sure we can do it. You love to bring on a quote and surprise your team, don't you?
Yeah, yes I do. They might not like it quite as much, but typically, I mean, we have all sizes of machines. So we run a lot of big hog out parts to little teeny tiny parts. Yeah, we can pretty much make anything. That's why I'm not too worried when I quote, because I'm always like, we can figure it out.
And you have a great QC room over here, and you're about to add 2 more to that entire thing. So when the parts do come in, you're like, my guys can handle it. They're pros, and some of them have known you since you were yay big running around the shop, right?
Absolutely,
So you got some pros here.
Yes, we do. We've got a good team. We've got, I mean, literally couldn't do it without everyone who's here. You know, it's really everybody on the team that makes it all happen and figures it out.
So as we bring this whole story full circle, and correct me if my number is wrong, but I believe you've even invested in 14 machines just this year. Brought in 14 new machines, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So I have to ask, why Kitamura since 1987, 25 now, rotating them out? It's probably more like 40 or 50 really if you weren't rotating them out.
Oh, at
but
least,
currently 25, yeah, at least 25 sitting. Why Kitamura over and over and over again?
We honestly can't think of a better machine to run. I mean, we've always bought Kitamura. They always have lasted a long time. The Kitamura team is awesome. I mean, everybody there has been long time friends, and they're just, we could just depend on them. We don't have a lot of downtime because the machines are made high quality, made well, and yeah, I don't even think we'd really consider anything else. We're just a Kitamura shop.
And happy about it.
Yeah,
I think something
it's done just fine.
Yeah, resonated with me that you said is dependability.
Yes.
Because the machines are dependable. You want to be a dependable company for your partners out there.
Yeah.
Your coworkers, your community, as I've heard it said before here, are all dependable upon each other.
Yep.
You overseeing this, make sure that you're dependable for them as well. I mean, that word, if this was Pee-wee's Playhouse back in the day, we'd be screaming right now. It'd be the word of the day, but dependable, right? But that's really where it all stems from. The root of everything is dependability.
Yeah, you know, each part you're going to bring off the machine is going to be exactly like the part before. I mean, we can make high volumes of parts because we know the machines are accurate. They're set up with probing. We know every part that comes off is going to be the same as the part before.
That's exciting. I love stories like this because it really is a winner and it allows people to see the capabilities of investing in quality products. So many people get stuck on that upfront cost and go, I don't know how I can afford a certain number. Let me just go with this more entry-level machine, and this is the way to go. This is how price per parts go down. This is how secondary work becomes obsolete. This is how the reliability of every part comes off the machine and right into the box, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think we could do what we do with a lesser machine. I mean, Kitamura has always been like top of the line, and yeah, we're very happy customer.
Awesome. Well, I am sold as well, and in showing you that I am sold, I also got this wonderful hat from your father. Yeah, I'm a West Valley Precision person as well now. I'm even going to turn in my resume and see if Courtney will hire me. I don't know if that'll actually happen, but where can we learn more about you, Courtney? What is your website?
WVPI.com.
And what about any socials? Are we on LinkedIn? Are we on Instagram? Are we dancing on
LinkedIn.
TikTok? Are we?
No.
Okay.
No, but we're on LinkedIn, but hit the website. It's probably the best place.
That's the best place to go?
Yep.
Courtney, thank you so much for many things. Thank you for opening your doors for the cameras to come in. Thank you for your time. It's the one thing we cannot manufacture more of. And thank you for being a woman in manufacturing and being this legacy company, third generation family owned. We truly honor you.
Awesome. Very nice to meet you. Thank you.